Alrighty, guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Greatest Life Story University. This is my online coaching program for people who are dealing with anxiety, depression, traumas, any sort of PTSD, really. So, a lot of what this program is designed to do is help people to feel empowered and understand their own health, understand how their physiology is changing the way that their mind and emotions are functioning. And so, how to change that physiology is very important because a lot of people are making terrible mistakes that end up hurting their physiology, making their PTSD and anxiety even worse. This is a very common thing, and it's not very well known even in most modern medical fields, at least not in most modern, I should say, most modern medical practices. Oftentimes what they do is they disassociate the mind and the body, and only in the recent years have they really started to try to blend the two back together. My background is in Chinese medical massage and Chinese medical theory. I've been an instructor in Chinese medicine for over a decade now, teaching my personal clients and also been teaching at schools as well. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Greatest Life Story University and why it works. So we've got a 7-step module program, and this is what I call the roadmap to the success for the greatest life story. You are going to have an area in the first category here called, we call it module 1, but in here I've labeled it as we increase your energy levels. The reason why we increase the energy levels is because everything takes energy. If you are not having enough energy to go through the program, then there is nothing that can help you with this program. You have to have the energy for it. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 ways we can increase your energy levels. First, there are physical exercises and things that you can do dietary wise that will help boost your energy. But that is often a slower route to go. And let me explain why. Because the other option is to eliminate the things that are draining your life. And what I mean by draining your life, I mean it's absorbing your energy. It's preventing you from having the energy to begin with. And oftentimes that's just the things going on in our own heads that is getting in the way, that is zapping most of all of our energy. And so in module 1, we focus on helping to break down some barriers. I refer to it as opening the right doors. Now, I used to believe that when every door closes, another one opens, and that door opens at random. And that's not what I believe anymore, because I've come to understand over the years through my practice that we do have the capabilities of making a decision. That is free will. We all have that. We are all capable of making a decision. And we are all capable of making a decision. And as we're capable of making a decision, we have to realize that it is fully within our capabilities, fully within our power to change things. And once we get rid of the things that are blocking us or tearing us down, then suddenly we're going to have a boost of confidence and energy that's going to help us to move on to what I refer to as module 2. This is just merely improving the health. Now, in module 2, we start getting more productivity and start seeing more results. And most of you are dealing with multiple things going on all at once. So in module 2, we actually break down very simply some of the basics of your physiology so that you understand. It's some of the anatomy that is very important so that you can understand your own health, because that's going to set us up for module 3, which is discovering the sources of your health imbalances. So that way, when we discover the sources of your health imbalances, we can start addressing your limitations. And as we kind of progress and move through all this, you're going to be trained in different techniques and self-help therapies that are going to boost your own health, be it hormones, digestive, heart, any of them. They're all going to be able to have some benefits through some of the exercises that are taught in this program. So once you figure out where the source of your imbalance is that is creating a majority, if not all of the different problems you're dealing with, this is where you're going to start finding that you are now more in power over your life than ever before. But that's not all, because up in the next module, module 4, we talk about the past, the present, and the future, and the destination that you are heading on. You see, your present situation is because of everything that went on in your past, and all of your psychology and emotions and feelings about your past has helped you to make the decisions that you are now presently dealing with. So, what the future looks like is pretty much more of what the past looks like, unless we start changing things. Now, the good news is by the time you're at module 4, you're already starting to change things. But in this module, we actually go over a life cycle pattern that teaches people more about their own health and more about how their bodies are developing and shifting each and every year. This information is literally not taught anywhere else. There are no books on this, because if there were any books, they may have been destroyed way back in the day when communist China took over. My mentor, the one who taught me, he was the only one that knew about this stuff that I was ever aware of. And out of the over thousands of people that I have seen and talked to, only one person that I randomly met ever had actually heard of this. And this system is about the I Ching life cycles. And the funny thing is these I Ching life cycles, they're a 9-year step process, and we repeat these 9 years over and over and over again. But it helps to change our hormones and our physiology, so we can actually predict why we have the issues we have currently, why we had them in the past, and maybe some issues that we might have in the future. But we're also going to learn how to avoid those things and avoid having those same issues in the future. So everything works off of this pattern system. And what this one is just understanding your life journey and where you're at in it. So this is a really powerful information, and I am serious that you are not going to find information about this anywhere else online. I've never found anything on my own research. Everything that I have learned was through word of mouth, and I continued my education just to continue to understand more of this system. And it is 100% accurate for everyone across the board. Now, number 5, pardon, clearing my throat. This is about getting healing to happen. This is all about helping making the big breaks, shifting things even more so. And there are exercises in this module that complement the system that you learn from the 4th module and help you to bring more vitality and health back into your organs, to your bones, to your muscles, and to your nervous system. And a majority of you are dealing with nervous system problems. Now, once we get through that healing process, you're going to feel some really big shifts going on. And it's going to take a little while for you to build up some of these, and you're going to have to do these exercises and go through this process. But trust me, once you go through some of these, you are going to be so ecstatic about the results you're going to see and the shifts that you're going to notice. That once we move into number 6, this is all about the vision, the plan for your future and your new goals. You see, it's not just enough to help your body heal and get over the anxiety and depression, because now we're setting you forth in such a way that you're going to look at life in a whole new way. Just the outlook of everything is going to be so much different by this point. And I promise you that if it isn't, then you really haven't taken to heart the information that has been leading up to prior to this. This information will help you and guide you through your entire life. And we're going to help you create a positive vision for your future, a vision that you can have trust in, that you can have faith in, that you yourself are going to be full of confidence in being able to go and achieve your goals, your dreams, the things that you felt like have been holding you back. Or maybe it's already happening because all you felt like you needed was the healing, so that you could spend more time with loved ones and family, because those are some of the most important things that most of us could ever dream to have is just extra time and even more important memories with our family. And then the seventh step is really owning who you are now, owning who you're becoming, shifting your identity out of the old and into the new to be a more fully developed person, to live a more fully developed life. And this is the secret to growing through this program and healing and moving beyond the anxiety, the depression, the traumas, and other forms of PTSDs that you may have occurred throughout your entire life. I want to tell you real quick a story of a young lady who called me up, and we were chatting, and she was just miserable and depressed. She actually was one of my old students at one of the massage schools that I taught at. And something happened in her life where she fell in love with somebody, and that person turned out to be rather abusive. And she got herself out of that situation, luckily, but she had to move in with some relatives. And in that particular situation, man, she started just feeling down, miserable, depressed, resentful, and it started to affect her relationship with her family members as well. Things were not looking good for her at that time as she was talking to me about it. And when I sat there with her, I did some of the most basic exercises that I do with anybody in just usually the first step, the very first module. And the effects that she had just from that was by the end of a single hour phone conversation that I had with her, she felt like there was no depression left, that she understood what was going on in her life, why it was going on the way it had been. And she totally shifted her perspective on where she was at with her life and why she was there. In fact, she said she felt such a state of gratitude and appreciation that when she went back to work the very next day, that she said everything felt different, just felt so much better and more clear, like she had a complete new idea of goal. So even in just a single hour, I helped her to increase her energy levels, which thankfully for her, it wasn't so much about something deeper underlying causing her depression and anxiety and stress, but it was just the situation from her past, where she was at currently with her present, and the terrible vision that she had of her future. But increasing her energy, we help shift her perspective and understand her past, understanding her present. And that alone, just the step one, step four, and then step six shifted everything for her. Because we luckily didn't have to. I mean, we technically did go through the source, finding the source of the problem and addressing that. And really, the source of the problem for her was that she wasn't really honestly feeling like she could be happy in her situation. And I'm here to tell you guys right now, don't put stipulations on your happiness. Meaning, don't say, I'll be happy when, or I'll only be happy if. Because when we do that, we are saying that any other moment in time when we don't have that thing, we're not going to allow ourselves to be happy. And I'm here to tell you guys right now that is a big mistake, and a lot of people make it. So please, please, please don't make that mistake. Now, I absolutely love you guys. If you have further questions on the Greatest Life Story University, you guys can visit my website, thegreatestlifestoryuniversity.com. There's a free PDF that you guys can have called The Happy Life Formula. And I also explain that in one of my other videos. So please look for that other video as well, so that you understand more about the Happy Life Formula and how it works. Thank you, and I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing day.